Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got Somm wine for you. This is the 2020 Château Lamartine Cahors Malbec from Cahors in the southwest of France. Now, when I say Malbec, you're probably thinking Argentina, but long before Argentina was producing Malbec, even before Argentina had even been colonized by French and Spanish and Italian settlers, Cahors was making Malbec. Cahors is a village in the southwest of France and is one of the oldest recorded wine producing regions in France. There are records of Cahors being produced all the way back to 50 BCE. The Romans called the wines of Cahors the black wine of Cahors. It had a reputation throughout Europe, through all of the previous 2,000 years plus, for being an incredible, rich, robust, deep colored wine, and more than likely made from Malbec. Um, Chateau Lamartine is a family owned producer in the southwest of the Appalachian. They have been on the same piece of property since the 1880s. They only started producing wine under the label of Château Lamartine in the 1950s, but that's still prior to the establishment of the AOP, or the appellation for Cahors, which Edouard Seroun, who was the founder of Château Lamartine, was one of the original producers who lobbied the NIAO to establish the AOP back in the 1970s. Now the property is operated by the fourth generation, Lise and Benjamin Cahors, and are continuing to produce especially good Cahors, and really kind of benchmark Cahors that represents the region and continues to improve the visibility and the marketability of Cahors. Argentina did a really great thing by planting their flag with Malbec. They opened consumers up to the variety where Cahors had kind of fallen to the wayside with transitions to other parts of France like Bordeaux and the Rhone, and you don't see as much growth in the southwest of France, and popularity. It's a little bit of a hidden gem within a lot of French wine producing regions. And now we're starting to see a resurgence and a popularity in these places that had been kind of lost a little bit to time. Where in Argentina, it's not uncommon to have 100% Malbec as a wine. That is fairly uncommon within Cahors. So this is not 100% Malbec, it's 90% Malbec done with 10% Merlot, and then aged in a mixture of cement tanks and barriques for 12 months, just to give the wine a little bit more texture and a little bit more definition. I love this wine. There's a characteristic that Malbec has that kind of comes across as like black fruited cereal grain, toasty spices. But because Malbec in Argentina is grown at such high altitudes, the intensity of the sunlight causes the grapes to have slightly thicker skin, deeper color. This is still showing purple-ish, but it is not the deep, vibrant, almost neon purple that you can sometimes get from Argentina. This is a little bit more toned back and restrained, and you get that on the nose as well. It's not as punchy. It's a little bit more savory, a little bit more, I don't want to say elegant, but it's a little bit less boisterous, I think is maybe a better way to put it. It leans towards a more savory edge to Malbec with a little bit of kind of meatiness to it. There's still black fruit. It's black currant, black cherry, and plum. There's a kind of a woody note to it, like you got wood shavings, like you're carving something with a knife. Taste. The structure here is notable. It's got great acidity. They have kind of managed to retain that freshness and that brightness even in a fairly robust wine. There is a kind of a slightly fruitier edge to the palate than there is to the nose. The nose is a little bit quiet and more savory, but when you actually get it in your mouth, you get this punch of like purple berry fruit. Along with a really good hint of kind of purple flowers, this kind of lifted, high toned floral character. There's some sweet spice as well. They have done a little bit of oak here just to kind of add texture, but most of that oak is older, so it's not adding a ton of vanilla, but it does add a spiciness and a richness to the palate. And the tannins are, again, present, but not too firm. They're quite silky and powdery. They're fine grained. They kind of just linger on your palate enough that you notice that there is some structure here without having to make this about like super, super grippy tannins. With that tannin, with that acid, with this really lovely spiced fruit character. This is a great wine for a whole range of things, from like if you want to get in some late season barbecue, this has enough substance to stand up to something done on the grill, but with that kind of moderate tannin and high acid, you can also do this with things like stews. If you've ever wanted to do like boeuf bourguignon, or I mean, I know that's traditionally with Burgundy, but I mean, use a little bit of a more robust red, and then you can add a little bit more flavor to the sauce that you're cooking it in. And this is a great wine for kind of those stewy, rich, flavorful, meaty, smoky dishes. This is a great wine to do with kind of vegetables with a more robust preparation. So anytime you are adding a little bit of flame, or you are roasting, adding sauce, adding demi glaze or anything like that, cooking with stock. It's delicious, and it's a different way of expressing Malbec. Uh, I I know that a lot of people really enjoy Argentinian Malbec, and that may be the only Malbec that you've ever had. So this is a great way to kind of see the flexibility of the variety and the diversity of styles that it can create when given a different terroir. And the terroir of Cahors is particularly special, kind of being midway between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. You get this influence of both the Mediterranean and the ocean. Just delicious, a great kind of iconic representation of a extremely old classic region, and a wine that I am really excited to share with people, and I hope more people begin to rediscover, as it really is a special wine that I think deserves our attention. So thanks everybody for watching. That's the Château Lamartine Cahors Malbec. I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you all next time.